In this class we are going to discuss about deep foundations. It's the foundation part 2. We can see here as we discussed, one of the best suitable deep foundation is pile foundation. So piles are used. So when piles are used, when if the settlement is a problem, like when ground consists of uneven settlements or ground consists of soft layers of ground, then piles foundation might be recommended. So when engineer wishes to limit settlements to a small magnitude, when the ground soil expected to have more settlements, or when the load is more than around like 300 to 800 kilonewtons per pile are common on piles. So piles can take this much of load on a single foundation. So in pile foundation there are two types of pile foundation. One is end bearing and another one is friction. I can simply explain you this. If you take this diagram, you can understand that this is pile. You can see the high screen now. This is pile. Here the load is applied, and when the load is applied in this direction, the resistance is coming from this direction, opposite direction. You can see the resistance is coming from the surface, which the surface is rock. In this situation, this place is full of soft ground. So the soft ground cannot show any resistance on this pile. So pile has to be constructed until the hard stratum. Okay, the hard stratum is rock. So in this condition, like when you go for end bearing pile, you have to understand that the load is carried by the base, and the resistance, the force will be distributed or carried over. The force will be carried over by the base. The same way, if you take the friction bearing, friction itself, the load is resisted from the friction of the material surrounded by the clay. In this condition, the pile is not laid until the hard stratum, or there is no hard surface or end for this pile. So pile is constructed in such a way that where the soil around the pile can give some friction, and that friction is sufficient to take over the load coming onto a pile. So this is what it is. A friction bearing is when load is coming onto the structure, and you can see because of the friction resisting the load coming onto the pile. You can observe here the friction is resisting the load coming onto the pile. So this is what end bearing pile and friction pile. So you can see some information here. So when the end bearing pile is required and when friction pile is required. This is what we will discuss well in detail in class. If you go for a friction pile, this is what it is. So generally the friction is happened. So here this is a soft ground, so there is no friction, and in this layer there is no resistance towards the load. But when you go for a clay, the resistance towards the load is from the clay layer. So this is what is a friction pile. Okay. So again, other than these two types of piles, we are having two other types of piles which are known as displacement piles and replacement piles. You can see here displacement. Displacement is simply, the name itself says as displacement are preformed piles, which is like casting. We have discussed in the previous class that there is in situ construction and precast construction. I have shown you some videos also. You can understand that displacement piles, like we are displacing, so which are it's like a nail inserted into a wall. The same way a precast pile has to be brought onto the site, and where it has to be excavated, where it has to be inserted into the ground, you just arrange it accordingly, and using machinery you can use hammering procedure and insert the pile into the ground, so such as nails into the wood or the soil being displaced sideways. And when you are inserting it, whatever the volume of the soil the pile is going to occupy, it will be displaced towards the sides of the piles or bottom of the pile. However, it will more densify the soil. So displacement piles are driven to a set. This means that the pile is driven into the soil until a defined number of blows advance the pile into the ground. So number of blows required to insert pile into the ground depends upon the type of the soil and the magnitude of the hammering. You can see here, so when the ground rises around pipe, the subsoil displaced in sideways, so which will automatically slightly densifies the soil, so the pile is directly inserted into it. Number of blows depends upon 5 to 10. Again, it depends upon the type of soil. So now coming to replacement piles. So these are the columns of concrete. So it's a precast element, or the displacement piles are precast element. Replacement piles are it's like almost columns like concrete. As we have shown you in the previous class video, this is auger boring, which will dig a hole required for pile foundation. Columns of concrete cast in the ground is pre-drill hole. The drilling action removes the soil where the pile is to replaces with concrete. Okay, in this condition, sometimes if it is a plain concrete, when the auger boring is coming up, it will leave the concrete and fills the concrete. If requirement of reinforcement, the auger bore is removes the soil and the empty, you can see the empty hole, then reinforcement is placed and it will be filled with concrete. So how the precast pile, this is step 1. You can see precast piles and we will discuss it in the class in detail. So precast piles are constructed or casted in an industry, so they are directly brought it here. So the hammering 1, 2, it will directly insert precast piles. There is another test method called static load test. So I will try to explain it much deeper. The static load test will also give you a type of load. The static load will give you some load on the structure, and we are going to check how much this foundation can take the load. Okay, and there is another method called integrity testing. So these two testings we will try to discuss much well in detail with some pictures and videos during the classroom, and we'll have some activities on this. So finally, the process of foundation design. So first of all, this is very important. As a civil engineer, you should know the process of foundation design. You have to assess loads. You have to assess loads, and you have to first how much load is coming onto the ground. Then you have to assess the ground. So when you assess the ground, you have to check whether is there any evidence of groundwater. If yes, you have to go for dewatering. If there is any adjacent foundations, then you have to go for cantilever foundations. If it is a weak ground, you have to go for ground improvement ground. So ground improvement techniques. So all these three takes you to the choice of foundation. So from this, according to the details you have collected, are you going for a strip footing or a pad foundation or a wrapped foundation or a piles? This is the final step of the design process, the choice of foundation. So this is how foundation design goes place. Okay, please go through this video and come to the class, so we will discuss more well in detail. Thank you.